Hey everyone, welcome back. Here, day two. We are going to talk about the family pedigree project. But first, what I'm going to show you is my family tree and kind of give you an idea. So I'm going to take me off the screen here and go full this and see if I can get this to work. All right. So what I'm going to do is and I'm hoping I'm going to make this a little, I'm just going to go like this because if I do the whole screen, I kind of get lost. Okay, so here we go. Now, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to create a pedigree of your family, 3 generations. So yesterday you learned about it. You learned, what a male and a female is. So we're going to kind of continue that work today. So generation one, so you're going to have to go 3 generations. Generation one is going to be like grandparents. So I'm going to start out here and I'll kind of explain a little trick to doing this. And this will make a little more sense as we go through. I'm a little older, so everything's a little different in mine because I'll have more people that have been deceased. And then we'll see if you can figure out the story. Because no matter what, that's always half of it. It's figuring out the story. Is looking at a pedigree and going, huh, what's going on here? Whoops, I made a mistake here. So as we're going through here, I'll kind of tell you a story of this. This is my parents. This is my dad and my mom here. Right, the one that I just drew. So here's my dad. He passed away about 10 years ago. Here's my grandma. This is my mom, who is a fraternal twin. And then let me put my uncles in here. All right. Now, usually you put these from youngest to oldest, but really, I don't really like doing that on here because I look at something like um, you want your parents to meet in the middle. Okay, so if your grandparents are up here, you got to make sure mom and dad, however they work, they meet in the middle because otherwise you don't want lines to go over. I didn't want to put my mom right here and then I'd have to cut across. I don't want to do that. So you just want to make sure that they meet in the middle. All right. Okay. George. All right. Just trying to figure it all out. Yep. All right. So this would be generation two. So trying to figure out the story, if you look at my grandma up here, um, what do you think could have actually happened up there? Because you're like, wait, she was married, but she was never divorced. So this is what happened. And sometimes it's hard to tell the story. I'm actually going to put me on here too. Sometimes it's hard to tell the story of this, but what happened here is my grandma got married to my grandpa, it would be my dad's dad. He died when my dad was like 9 months old. So he passed away. My grandma remarried, had 2 daughters, and of course now they're all deceased. So she was a widow. Now it's kind of hard to tell that when everyone's passed. And of course my grandparents on my mom's side are have both passed. And you can see here. Now, this is my dad and my mom. So if you're writing this, this would be, of course, this person would be 1 and 2 and 3, and you number them all the way across. So, and I usually put it under, but so then you know this would be 2 1, 2 2, 2 3, and so on and so forth. Now, to get to a third generation is going to be me and my family. Okay? Okay, so here's my family. This would be, for example, I'm going to put my brother in here. He was married, and they had 2 kids. Or, sorry, 3 kids. Sorry, 3. Okay, my sister was never married, and she has 1 kid. Okay, my brother Chris, he had a boy and a girl. They're divorced. He got remarried, had another girl, divorced. I told him he shouldn't get married anymore. Um, Here's my parents. They got divorced, so that's what that line represents. This was a sister that had a heart defect. She passed away when I was a baby, and I'm married, and we have 2 boys. Okay, so this right here is me. Now, when you look at my family tree and you look at it, there's a lot going on. Now, I did not put everyone in my second generation, so all my aunts and uncles, I did not put who they're married to. You don't need that, okay? Because if I started doing that, I got like 40 cousins on this side or something ridiculous that, like my mom's twin had identical twins, which is kind of cool, and you can see how that runs in a family even. So let's say I'm looking at a trait. Let's say I'm looking at left and right-handedness. I'm left-handed. So let's say we're looking at that. I color myself in. My brother is also right-handed. Or sorry, left-handed. But here's the question, is both of my parents were not left-handed. So what does that tell you about them? If left-handedness is the recessive gene, and we're both left-handed, we'd be, let's say we're using R. I'd be little r, so would he. Okay? What would my parents have to be? There's only one reason, one way if they're right-handed, is they would have to be what I would call a carrier. So then you fill them half in. So then they'd be big R, little r. Big R, little r. Okay? So what you are going to do with this project is you're going to have to pick some trait to trace in your family. Something that's easily distinguishable. So I try to shy people away from colored hair because it's kind of hard to do. The other thing is don't choose something, let's say I choose left-handed or right-handed, and everyone in your entire family is right-handed. That's not the point. The point is to find some trait maybe you have, other people don't have, or that it's not completely through the whole family. So you need to do 3 generations. Now, I went 4 just to show family, okay? So when you look at this, number 1, it's all drawn on the same line, okay? Number 2, now, again, I did this freehand. If I had a ruler and something to kind of make everything the same, that's what you want to do. And then, of course, see this one is all. So that's how you can tell if you did it right. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick one trait. One trait to investigate your family. Now, if you don't want to do your family, this is not meant to cause any type of issue or anything like that. You can see I have a separate assignment there under number 1. Number 2, the pedigree should at least contain 10 people. The pedigree needs to go back 3 generations, grandparents, parents, and you. And then aunts and uncles. You don't have to do who they're married to and everything else, but aunts and uncles. Pedigree should be on a poster board. I'm not doing a huge poster board. What I'll do is I have some larger sheets of paper that I'll have out. Do a rough draft first, because sometimes people get done and they're like, oh no, and do a rough draft so you have it all laid out, and if it looks good, then put it on the board, okay? Now, here's a key. Pedigree needs to have a key. Your key needs to be down here to explain what is that, what is this, what is a marriage, what is a divorce. Everything that you have in there, you will need in there, in the key, okay? So you're going to need a key somewhere on there. And if you have to do it on the back side, that's all right too, because these aren't going to be huge sheets of paper. For each individual, you're going to put a genotype. Remember, that's a genotype. Now, let's say I get to someone like my sister who's right-handed. Well, I wouldn't, sometimes pedigrees you don't know, are they big R, big R? Are they big R, little r? So if you don't know, this is okay. Question mark. Just put a question mark on it if you are unable to figure that out. The phenotype and then the name of relative. So for example, I'd put Bert, here's my brother, and Paula, and Chris. I would go down the line here. I would have left a little more room. Of course, me, Rich, Jessica. Okay. So name. So also with the phenotype, you can have it however you want. If you want it colored in down here and it says left-handed, then I'm good. Okay. So these are traits you could choose. I have a list here, but I want you to look at that family tree document that we had last week. That will tell you everything you need to know on this. On the back, if you look, how will you be graded? Is one trait investigating your family. Tell me which one it is. Each pedigree, 10 people, okay, must include the following for each one: genotype, phenotype, and name. Each person or each pedigree go back at least 3 generations. Pedigree is on poster board. Don't worry about that. I'll have sheets of paper. And each pedigree should have a key. It'll be out of 30 points. You're going to get today to work on it and tomorrow. I'll have it due when I get back. So, but you'll get 2 days in class because I don't know how far everyone is, and I'll be able to check them when I get back. If you have any questions on it or anything, if you want to take a picture, send it to me, let me know. Okay? All right. I'll let you get to work. Good luck. And again, if you do have any questions, just email me, and have a good day, everyone.